Hi, and we are back to drawing Canon Warriors characters for my design blog, which this is, video 4, I think? Something like that. Okay, we're just gonna get right into it. So we are first drawing One Eye, who is the next cat who appears in Into the Wild on chapter 4, page 49. So in the books, she is stated to be the oldest elder in the clan in the allegiances, although this is, like, clearly retconned later on, because, like, in Blue Star's prophecy, she's listed as Whitepaw, an apprentice, while Halftail and Smallier are already warriors, which is weird. And I'm gonna try to avoid talking too much about her appearances in later books, or like the prequels, just talking about Arc 1. But I thought that was, like, weird enough to mention. But One Eye shows up very briefly throughout the first arc, but for the most part is just mostly shown to be like a sweet and helpful old lady, so she's my favorite. She's my favorite of the first arc elders. I really love her. So she only ever shows up in the first arc of books, and then starting with Midnight, which is the first book of Arc 2, the new prophecy, she's gone. So she has presumably died in between, although it's never explicitly confirmed how or when she died, but it would have had to have been sometime after Firestar's quest, since she's not in the allegiances of that book. Vicky at one point did say that she thinks she died peacefully in her sleep, although I think it's unlikely that we will ever actually see this in the books. As for her family tree, there wasn't really much that I could do to tie her into her family, because unfortunately she doesn't look a whole lot like her family, at least color-wise. So she's the mate to Halftail and the mother to Mousefur and Running Wind. She does share a similar body type to Mousefur, and I tried to more or less tie her just general body type more to Mousefur than anyone else. So she ends up looking like Mousefur and Halftail looks like Running Wind. Her sister is Speckletail, which is a very odd choice considering that, once again, she's stated to be the oldest cat in ThunderClan. And Speckletail is never once described as being old until she decides to retire, if I remember correctly. Not to mention the fact that I double-checked this, and in the allegiances of Blue Star's prophecy, Speckletail is already a warrior, which, you know what, could be, like, she became a warrior first, whatever, but that's still really, really weird. Hello, Editing Boomtown here. So she is mentioned, she is listed in the allegiances as being the quote-unquote oldest nursery queen in ThunderClan, but that does not mean that she's still elder age. That doesn't necessarily have to mean that. Okay, anyways, back to the video. Either way, according to Goosefeather's curse, she's the foster sister to Dappletail, Thrushpelt, and Tawny Spots, and her mother is named Hairpounce. On the wiki, her father is stated to be Stagleap, although this is only ever said in the website family tree and has never once been confirmed in the actual books. Yeah, as for the rest of her design, there wasn't really much I felt like I had, she's a gray cat, she's missing an eye, and I wanted to make her look nice and cute and sweet. There wasn't really much anything crazy that went into her design. It's One Eye, and I just wanted to make her look really nice. So there she is. The next cat that I am drawing is Dappletail, who is another elder in the first series, and she is first named on the same page that One Eye is named on, which is chapter 4, page 49 of Into the Wild. And it's all in the same scene that Halftail was first named in as well, where Firepaw and Greatpaw go into the Elder's Den and just kind of talk with the elders, and Firepaw eats a mouse for the first time. It's a really cute scene. I like it. From what I remember, she's shown around One Eye a lot, but it definitely is not as sweet as she is. She doesn't really have any, like, specific scenes to herself or anything major that happens to her in the first arc, but starting in Arc 2, she is the only elder from the first book to still be alive. And this is where I think her, like, main scene is, the scene that everybody remembers her for. So what ends up happening is, the forest is being destroyed by Two Legs, and all the prey is being poisoned. And so cats in the forest, and, like, in all of the other clans, are starving and dying as a result. They end up catching a rabbit, and it's suspected that this rabbit is poisoned. And as they're discussing the poisoned rabbit, Dappletail comes over and takes the rabbit and eats it. And this scene, I remember it always being portrayed and talked about in like oh, Dappletail, you silly cat, you know, like she had overheard it was poisoned and just like didn't care or like didn't believe them. When in actuality, it's like explicitly stated in that book. I believe it's Dawn. I believe she dies in Dawn. No, I think it's Moonrise. I think it's Moonrise. Either way, it's one of those two books where she takes the poisoned rabbit, and it's not explicitly said. I believe it's in Leafpaw's thoughts of the situation, but she points out that she's eating it not because she's stupid, but because she's that hungry. She's that hungry and desperate for any kind of food that she's willing to risk being poisoned. And unfortunately, she does die. In the first arc, no cats are ever mentioned to be her family, but she does mention that she's had kits, and one of these kits that she has was a pure white deaf kit, who she mentions in relation to Snowkit, Speckletail's deaf son, who is also a pure white deaf kit, but in other appearances her family tree is elaborated on more. Her mother is Rainfur, and she has two brothers named Thrushpelt and Tawny Spots, and that is just like, once again, a really, really weird combination of characters to be family, but whatever. And her foster sisters are One Eye and Speckletail, and all of this information, I believe, is confirmed in Goosefeather's Curse. Her father is mentioned to be Windflight. She is also said to be mates with Running Wind, and she's said to have two kits named Featherkit and Cricketkit. However, everything there is made up for the family tree and has never been explicitly confirmed in the books. Speaking of Running Wind being her mate, you know, I've gotten a lot of people questioning my decision to just flat out ignore any family relations that are only canon through the family tree. So then I bring up this. I just can't wrap my head around why this choice was made. I believe this goes as far back as the original family tree from the older Warriors website, but still, it's such a weird combination of characters. I hate it. I hate it so much. This stuff like this is why I ignore the family tree, you guys. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I hate this so much. This is like one of the worst things the website family tree has ever come up with. Although to be fair, I think in this situation it's a little different than the stuff they're coming up with for the current family tree, because this is older. I believe this is much older, and I'm sure the people running the current family tree had nothing to do with this decision, and yet they're still taking it as canon, which, okay. If they can remove Redtail and Brindleface as being Sandstorm's parents, I don't see why this can't be retconned. I don't see why they can't do that. Please do it. I hate it. I hate this so much. It's so, I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyways, as for her design, I designed her with the visual idea of her as a human, wearing like a really dramatic fur coat. I liked that visual of her so much that I had to somehow put that energy into her design. So that's why she's got like that really big puff of fur around her neck. I thought it was so, I liked it so much. This is also why I gave her a tuft of fur on the top of her head. I thought that added to it. But that's Dappletail. I really like how her design came out. And the next cat that I am drawing is Yellowfang. Oh, we all love Yellowfang. I love Yellowfang. Maybe not her as a ghost, though. Maybe just her when she was alive. Oh man, what's there to say about Yellowfang? Right, this is the problem. This is the problem that I have when drawing, like, the main characters. Like, what is there to say that hasn't been said? Like, I feel like there's so much that I can talk about with cats like One Eye and Dappletail, because I can really go into, like, talking about them, and I don't know, it feels like I'm saying stuff that not everybody knows, but this is Yellowfang. Everybody knows Yellowfang. But, she's first named in Into the Wild on Chapter 7, page 81, and this is the scene where Firepaw finds her, feeds her, is caught giving her food, and then she's brought into camp as a prisoner, where it's revealed that she is the former Shadow Clan medicine cat. Maybe it's revealed before that, but it's at some point in that scene she is named as the former Shadow Clan medicine cat. She goes on to join ThunderClan permanently and replaces Spotted Leaf as their medicine cat, trains Cinderpelt, and then dies in the fire that happens in Rising Storm. And then I guess she also gives Firestar one of his 9 lives. And then after that, she has shown up repeatedly in other books, mostly as a StarClan cat. She's shown up in a few of the prequels, and she also got her own book, Yellowfang's Secret, as I'm sure you all know. In Arc 1, it's revealed that she, alongside Ragged Star, are the parents to Broken Star, who she had in secret because, you know, she's a medicine cat. And she had 2 more kittens, which I'm pretty sure was mentioned in the first arc. Their names are apparently Hope Kit and Wish Kit, although this has only ever been revealed through outside sources. More of her family is elaborated on in prequel books, so I will save talking about any more of her family once I get around to like Yellowfang's Secret or whatever. As for her design, I feel like there's not much I have to explain. I don't know. I feel like we as a fandom have a very good idea for what Yellowfang looks like. It's just we have a universal Yellowfang design. Although I'm pretty sure that's just because she's described a lot more than most other cats are. She's got the flat face, she's got like orange eyes, although I went more red because I thought that would really pop against her design more. She's got a bunch of scars, she's really fluffy. I don't know, she's got like a very distinctive design, and I think that's just led to everybody having like the exact same Yellowfang design, or at the very least, Yellowfang designs being universally recognizable. Like, no matter who's drawing Yellowfang, you can look at that cat and go, that's Yellowfang. Whereas a lot of the time, cats end up looking similar enough where you could be like, oh, is that Tiger Star or Broken Star? Or is that, you know, because they're, you know, there's, we have too many dark brown evil tabby cats in Warrior. So that's obviously not a fault of any people designing the cats. It's just, there's so many cats. There's so many cats, and there's only so many things that you can do to make them look different from each other. But I think Yellowfang is able to sort of get out of that and is able to look recognizable no matter who is drawing her, no matter what art style she is being drawn in. The only time I think that she has ever been unrecognizable is in the cover redesign of Yellowfang's Secret. Like, that's not Yellowfang. That's not Yellowfang. Blue Star looks more like Yellowfang. What? Either way, I feel like that has wrapped up my thoughts about Yellowfang, and that's it. That's the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will be back to talk about more warrior cat stuff eventually, someday. Who knows? I'm trying to post more regularly and get back into things, but we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes.